So one of the things I do as a writer is I spend a lot of time traveling around the country, visiting schools, and to me that's a really important part of writing, is to have an actual engagement with your readers.
Everybody give a warm welcome to our guest speaker today, Greg Neri. Author of Get a Cowboy and Drag That Horse.
Because I write for young people and about young people, and if I just sit in my office, then I will lose touch with, my subject matter. So as much as I can, I try to do school visits, particularly locally. I'm from Tampa, and I've been all over the country, and I've been to all kinds of places. But as I saw these pictures, I was like, what is going on here? Where is this place? And why are there horses in the inner city? And then, you get to share not only things about the story, but how the story came about. So kids who read the story and love the story can find out, about the real world that it was inspired by, and how I came across it. And also just the process of writing itself. How does somebody become an author? What is the process of turning an idea into a book? Things like this don't just happen by accident. There's always a reason why, and that reason is usually a story. And so when I saw these photographs, I was immediately drawn to it, and I wanted to know more. How do you get a book out into the world? These are all things, most people don't know, but particularly young people. And so I'm always trying to encourage people to tell their own stories, use their own voices to tell stories. And so if I can do that in person, that's always a priority for me. And so the why goes all the way back to the word cowboy. So when I was growing up and I heard the word cowboy, I pictured some white dude riding his horse across the plains of Texas, back in the old West days. And it turned out the word cowboy actually started as a slave term. So if you were a slave and you worked in the house, you might be called a houseboy. But what I like the most is when I start hearing stories about them, so if they connect with a story and they say, well, that is just like my world, or that is like something that happened to me, or, so that personal connection means a lot to me. And also it's important for them to know that they're not alone, so if I write about something that happened to them and they thought, it was something they never talked about because they thought it was only something that happened in their world, to see me write about it and show that it's happening in other places too kind of changes their perspective and hopefully gives them some hope. Really unexpected places. Not only do I travel around the country visiting schools, I've been as far as Russia to talk about this book. And let me tell you, when I was invited to Russia, I was like, really? They want to read this book?
I'm in Project Lit because I like reading. And when we were reading Ghetto Cowboy, the name was interesting, so I decided to read it. I learned a lot from the book. I actually learned a lot, and how you could be a family with just random people, and you don't always have to be low with the person so that they could be your family.
Project Lit is pretty much a club where we would read books, where we would get assigned a book, and it was for kids to get them to start reading, because the schools the books that schools the books that schools make us read can be boring and not to our interest. So they made the whole club pick books, and then we would read them. And we read a lot of graphic novels this year. And even though graphic novels aren't usually really good reading, the graphic novels that we were reading were really good. And we were just trying to have fun and get a lot of more kids into reading. And I think we did really well into that.
When I was little, I never really had the chance to play with my friends, so I always read. I've read a lot of books, and I love to write because of that. My favorite part is that I can give ideas and share what it means to me, honestly. Just the entire concept of it is amazing.
The important of being in Project Lit is that you get to like express yourself to the community, get to help your community and bring them into reading. You get to collaborate with other people while you're reading, and while you're reading, you can also, and after we're done reading a book, we talk about the book, and then like we go out, we buy the book, and then we build little libraries on the side of the street, and we just sell them.